Welcome back to Muni Mayhem on the Roundtable. I'm Oshrik Voss. Now, a lot of series have that one villain that fans felt were defeated way too soon. They didn't get enough screen time. The narrative didn't realize their full potential. A modern-day cartoon example for me would be Jasper from Steven Universe. But this is not the time to get into that, because in relation to Star vs. the Forces of Evil, I'm clearly referring to Toffee, the slick, cunning, and calculated lizard man who effortlessly stole the show every single time he was on screen. And when I say he's calculated, I mean he's calculated. From his introduction in Season 1 all the way up to his defeat in the episode Toffee, we're watching a series of events unfold that was all a part of his master plan. I think it's safe to assume that Toffee corrupted all this magic, leaving it incompatible with humans and difficult to use, so the Kingdom of Muni would be less vulnerable. And this was only Phase 1. And I think when we were all watching the conclusion for the Battle for Muni arc, we all thought to ourselves, that's not the end. We're going to see Toffee again. Yet, as the season progressed, despite still being in the opening theme song, granted, in Ludo-hosted form, we didn't get a peep of Toffee. The story was solely focused on Eclipsa and Meteora. Plus, the end of the season seemed to allude to Globgor being the Season 4 antagonist. And as Season 4's the final season, Globgor would be the ultimate villain. This is something I even discussed in the past. But as we come to recently learn, and also discussed, Globgor is actually not all that evil. His end goal is actually peace with the monsters and humans. So if he's not the bad guy, who is? Well, Lizard Boy is coming back, although he may not be alone. So what was Globgor's deal? Well, as revealed in Star's Book of Spells, not only is he the Prince of Darkness, much like how Eclipsa was a princess, which may mean he actually may be the King of Darkness, assuming his father has been slain, Globgor also felt that the actions of Solaria, Eclipsa's mother and the queen before her, was senseless violence. The fighting had to stop, and there had to be a way to achieve peace, and understanding between both sides. But something interfered. Globgor revealed that there were monsters out there who felt they were superior to humans, that peace wasn't an option, only conquest. Predominant in what would become this radical group was a race of monsters known as Septarians, reptilian-like species that can regenerate. If that's connecting any obvious dots, Toffee is Septarian. But these beliefs went way beyond Eclipsa's time, as Comet Butterfly, Queen Moon's late mother, was the closest they've ever gotten to peace. She befriended the current Monster King at the time, and things were going smoothly, so what went wrong? Well, moments before signing the peace treaty, tragedy struck. Comet Butterfly was killed by none other than Toffee. Now, we got acquainted with this information in the opening Season 3, the end of Return to Muni, and throughout Moon the Undaunted, but it was never known if Toffee issued this attack on Moon's mom, putting a hit out on Comet, or if he delivered the lethal blow. Now we know for sure it was the latter. Yet there's some unanswered questions. Why do Septarians feel like they're superior to humans? What in particular caused Toffee to hate the humans? To hate the Butterfly family? I mean, of all the ways to delay a peace treaty, he had to truly have vendetta in order to kill Comet. Even at the end of Toffee's introduction episode, Fortune Cookies, he insinuates he has quite a bad history with the Butterfly family. We thought this was Moon defeating Toffee, but it has to go beyond that. We could be looking at hundreds of years of history, something that may have began before Solaria, before Skywind. After all, the Book of Spells picks up at Skywind, but she's documents there have been many queens before her, and that the original book was lost. So this bad blood could be traced to a queen we never even met yet. But one thing is for certain, when Globgor wakes up, he may not be the main threat, but he's still going to be tied into the main threat. Star vs. the Forces of Evil is all about prince and princesses. Star's a princess. Moon was a princess and now queen. Eclipsa was a princess, became queen. Globgor, a prince, theoretically may have become king. Toffee, a prince. Meteora, a princess. We already speculated that Marco could very well be Mumin, and if that reveal holds true, he could very likely be his own kind of prince. Now, if Star is the royalty that wants peace between both sides, but gets pushed back from humans, then, as we already established, Globgor would be the prince that wants peace on both sides, but gets pushed back from the monsters. And we already have the Mumin threat who takes their beliefs to an extreme, Mina Loveberry. Mina's still around and kicking, so the monsters would need a threat on their side who also takes their beliefs to an extreme. That threat is Toffee, or at least one of the threats. And as we saw from Rasicor throughout the course of Seasons 2 and 3, Septarians can respond from pretty much anything. Rasicor was a mere arm. but over time regrew his entire body. It just seemed to take much longer due to missing a brain or a heart. We know Toffee's eyeball was left at the end of his titular episode, so already the seed is planted for his possible regeneration, one that may take longer than even Rastakor, but they also may give Toffee bigger fanfare than that. After all, the running gag of Rastakor was that he finally regenerated over the course of episodes upon episodes, only to be reduced back to an arm almost immediately. It'd be kinda weird for Toffee to just show up one day, reformed, or in the process of reforming. Thus we can see a new monster threat, maybe a Septarian unaware of Toffee's demise, who seeks out to find him. Maybe that monster will find Toffee in the process of regenerating, or even see that his regeneration is broken, and develop some kind of spell to speed it up. That way Toffee's return can have a bit more fanfare and punch to it. A race against time to stop a new antagonist from reviving him. And guys, we have to remember, the only established way to kill a Septarian was Eclipse's spell. Star didn't defeat Toffee with Eclipse's spell. Star defeated Toffee with pure magic, and while it did obliterate his body, and definitely made his heart stop, allowing Eclipse to be freed, we don't know if that was enough to defeat a Septarian. I mean, yeah, he looks dead, but looks can be deceiving. But going back to the very beginning, everything Toffee did throughout seasons 1 to 3 was a part of a master plan. And phase 2 may involve serving someone of greater status than even him. And that's for another discussion. But for now, what do you guys think? Could Toffee return? Again, both narratively and technically, he should return. It makes sense. And again, I can't really see Globgor being a villain, especially when we have so many unanswered questions about Toffee, and season 4 likely is the final season. But drop your thoughts in the comments below, or tweet your thoughts to me at OstricVox or at RoundtableVids. We're also on Instagram. If you went up the Roundtable Grow, you can become a member of this channel or support us on Patreon. Link in the description. If you enjoyed this video, please order a like, share, and if you're new here, subscribe. Hit that bell for notifications to stay in the loop with all things Star. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have an awesome day. OstricVox, out.